everyone for coming. Nick and I are really grateful that you trust us to talk to you about things and hopefully help you to demystify the art of songwriting. Um, because sometimes it can be an intimidating thing when really, if you look at it, it's really just like saying stuff. And we just want to help everyone to get to that point where they feel confident in writing songs or to overcome that writer's block thing that we all talk about. Um, Nick, do you want?
Thanks everybody also for coming to our little workshop here. It's so sweet, and I'm glad that we could offer this. And yeah, I mean, how we had been like, so Kirsten and I work as musicians. I uh work as a musician to make my life work out. And when the pandemic started, it became pretty clear that um we were just gonna have to figure like that, just kind of everything in terms of the like calcified structured way in which music stuff had been working was just really not working for like everybody. And uh this the part of it that was so cool about participating in music stuff was just like how great it was when everybody could get involved and like put in their little part and like hold up their little thing in the music, and everybody like has that sense of community and like working together. And so um when the pandemic kind of went on pause, every seeker like sort of helped Kirsten and I uh have some like regular meetings where we are kind of just trying to come up with some uh just way to like reach out to people and like pass on some mentorship, or just like give people access to mentorship, because if it wasn't for like a few opportunities like that had opened up in my life, they totally changed what was going on for me and like the, the options to do so. um yeah, so we kind of just wanted to try to like look at like holistic music education, like what does it look like just to like use people's strengths and just like the strengths of music and art making to do like community building, basic teaching, mindfulness exercises. And like, so we're super grateful also to the Khyber for giving us a chance to like start to do this, because this is our first little workshop that we're offering, and you are our pilot.
Yes, it's our first workshop. So basically, Whole Sound is like something that Nick and I started where we want to help artists to develop, um, but consider all the different pillars of our existence, a whole human being as opposed to just one aspect um, in music development. And this is our first workshop. What would you like to start out with, Nick?
I was just gonna be like, go off.
Oh, okay. So, well, all right. So here's a thing that I'll say when it comes to writing songs that I realized that writer's block is kind of a blessing in a way. Because if you can't write, if you can't come up with what to say, then the only option is to let the song write itself. And when you do that, you come up with new ways to say things. You say things that you never would have ever said. Another thing that I'll say is that you do not have to know what your song is about before you write it, while you're writing it, and after you've written it. You still don't need to know what it's about, right? You don't. So I know that the thing talks about writer's block and how to work with it. And again, it says with it, not through it or against it or solve it or get rid of it. How to work with writer's block and to say like, okay, I have no idea what to write about or how to write, or even the whole overly emotional thing. And I feel all these things and I don't know what to say. And also I don't want people in my business like that, because that's what I'm like, honestly. It's like, I don't really want to say it because then everyone's going to know. So That's where metaphors can come in as well. So Sam, that speaks to what you talked about. Using metaphors is a good way to kind of sneak your emotions in there and not straight up say everything about your life. I see a question from Sam. Inspiration for metaphors. Okay, can we do an activity right now that will help with that? Okay, inspiration for metaphors. So when I have this whole writer's block thing and I don't know what to do, what I'll do is I'll create something called like a word or phrase bank. I mean, it's not really called that, it's just what I call it.
Sorry, what did you say it was called? I didn't hear.
Like a word bank or phrase bank, or just a page of paper where I'm just going to write a whole bunch of stuff, right? So the first thing is to just clear your mind, and like you have a blockage, so it's probably already kind of clear anyway. You got nothing going on. So to write metaphors and to start my word bank, there's two different things I'll do. The first thing we're going to try right now is some object writing. So what I do is any object. So can everybody pick something like in their space? I have this roll of tape. Okay. So again, clear your mind. Don't think too deeply. We're going to write anything, nothing's wrong. So what we'll do, who's familiar with poetic devices? Do we know what poetic devices are? You know, like similes, onomatopoeia, metaphor. Yeah, you do. Exactly. So one of the ones that I like to use is personification. Okay. So we are going to personify this roll of tape. And we're going to write quotes. We're going to write things that the tape might say. If it had, what are the six senses? Or I say six because I count feelings as one, but what are the senses? We have sight. Okay.
Sight, hearing.
Thank you, Kirk. Yes. Sight, hearing.
Taste, touch.
What was that?
Taste, touch, smell.
Taste, touch, smell. Okay. And feelings or thoughts. So maybe there's seven. Anyway, so this roll of tape here, if it had sight, if it had smell, if it had feelings, if it could touch things, if it had thoughts, what is something it might say? Anything. I'll start. I hold things together. I'm going to write that down.
All right, so I have one, but I did it as a rap situation. So with every metaphor, I keep it intact.
Ooh. Okay. Well then, I keep it intact, but you said with every. See what I'm saying? I keep it intact. Listen, the word bank situation, it never lasts long because eventually you'll say something and you'll realize it's a metaphor for something else. But remember, when you're writing a song, you do not need to know what it's about. You don't need to know, right? So what's something else? Remember hearing? What might the tape hear? What do people use tape for?
Oh.
Painting? Oh.
I wrote it out in the chat because I wasn't sure we were supposed to say it.
Oh.
I wrote sticking to you like see-through, something like that. Let me see.
Ooh.
Sticking to you like see-through, feeling like I'm stuck on you.
Nice. Mike.
I hear everything break. You said like what we would hear. I hear people break things, or like what do you people use tape, like something like that. Like I hear the mistakes around me, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, just you do know. You do know.
It felt like
So
getting
you-
tangled up in yourself. Because that, especially packing tape.
Oh,
Oh, it's ridiculous. But Sam, can you reiterate what you said?
Sorry.
Like I hear the mistakes around me being made. Like I don't know how to say it. You guys help me.
Yeah, you said it just fine.
Like that. Like I hear the break. My love is tape.
Yes.
It's nice.
What
Mhm.
about I can taste yesterday on my tongue?
Mm.
Ooh.
You know, like stuff sticks to the end of tape.
This is what I'm saying about the word bank. It is flawless, foolproof, because look, you see, like, you see how we're already writing something? Like, we're already out here writing a song. Like, we could put this aside and write a song now? But Jessica, could we go back to what you had said so I can write it?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sam. I didn't mean to. I blurted it out before I forgot it. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, word away.
Yeah. Don't
I don't
wanna-
even know if you interrupted her. It could have just been me, like, not following what she had said, and then I wanted to go back to it, but no.
I said I get tangled up in myself.
Right.
Is that a bad head shake, Nick?
I just it happens. I don't even use it. Like the minute you pulled out that tape roll, I'm like, I hate that tape roll. Like I can't find your edge, and you're like always scratching it.
Oh, guess what? I can't find my edge.
Nice.
Yeah, can't find where you left off.
Oh
can't-
my goodness, come on. Like, where'd you leave off?
My love is taped. It was also amazing, by the way.
Find where I left off.
The other
Right?
thing,
Because it's just this whole, you scratch it for hours. Like, that's why you got to do the little tab.
when you break it in half, you have to do like you have to find a way to like go back.
So we could say, ooh, it's heavy. But this is a metaphor. Like, this
Yeah.
is a metaphor.
You
Also,
just have a couple
the
re-
noise it makes, when you're like ripping it off a box, like the pain, right?
Mm,
Or the sound it makes.
that
Right?
sound,
That weird sound.
It's like a squeal or something.
Yeah.
unnecessary.
And
Is what,
it always leaves something behind too on the tape. It's never a clear.
listen, my hands don't move as fast. Too many good ideas.
Like the sound of lost love.
Ooh.
Ooh,
The sound of lost love is the sound when you rip open boxing tape.
But do you now imagery? Now I'm seeing someone packing their boxes because they've lost, they're leaving. You see, it just
Right?
packing tape,
And boxes are baggage, right?
baggage, boxes.
And there's two sides of them, the side that wants to stick and the side that's smooth and wants to slip away.
let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I don't know about you, but
Someone's always trying to put you on a plane or a train and get you out of here, but that tape is holding on, right?
But one side isn't.
how about, just trying to bring, for me, the smell of the tape, like that plasticiness is very much like a memory trigger.
What's a line though
So
about this?
that it could be like
Oh.
trigger your memory, the smell of my adhesive. I don't know. We don't need to know what the song's about.
It's weird
So
to smell,
sorry?
It's weird to talk about smell. I
Mm.
find.
What do you
Personally,
think is weird about it?
maybe just because it's a sense that's not. For some animals, it's their main way of interpreting the world, but for human beings, for the most part, I feel like it's not typically one through which we express ourselves or communicate as much. It's a very personal kind of thing, maybe.
Like name a song about a smell.
It's
I
probably
can only think of songs about weed. Like,
Wow, you see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read what we have. Sorry if I missed some people. Like I couldn't write fast enough, so I might have missed some. but we have, I hold things together. With every metaphor, I keep it intact, sticking to you like, see-through, feeling like I'm stuck on you. I hear mistakes around me being made. I hear the break. I can taste yesterday. I get tangled up in myself. I can't find my edge. I can't find where I left off.
Are you?
That's beautiful.
Like that, these lines are heavy because, okay, so Sam, that's a metaphor. That's a metaphor. Like
Perfect.
a way to come up with metaphors, to just literally talk about one thing as though it's another.
Thank you. Wow, like that sounds like a full song. That's great. Like everything even makes sense the way you wrote it out. Wow.
That's nuts. But yeah, like, so that's one exercise.
Everybody gets 25% of that song when it becomes big.
I wanted to let everyone have an opportunity to do exercise alone. I mean, we all just came together and did it. But would you like to take maybe 10 minutes to quickly focus and just create a little word bank of your own? Are we back?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Who's comfortable to share?
I started by,
You want to share?
I'll just show you my object. I don't know if you can see it. There's a steam cleaner
Okay.
there against the wall, right in front of my eyeballs. And so I just wrote, I'm pretty like rhythmic and rhymey.
Mhm.
Probably gonna be like a pop songwriter or something. I see you standing against the wall, turned off, shadowed wire wrapped around my bleeding heart, thinking of the angry hiss and heated way you made me disappear. Wipe clean the remnants of our mess with the wetness of my tears, powered by my fears. You cleaned me off the floor before I ever found the door. The smell of your toxic fumes haunts me forever. I don't live here anymore.
Snap, snap, snap.
Bars.
I got nothing to say, but that was wrong. That's beautiful. And it's like it's like mind blowing to know that that's the object and then to hear everything you're saying and it applies, but it's so deep. So deep. Does anyone else want to share? Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I could go next.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I can't really show it. It's on the other side of the house, but it's like a really old wooden stool that I bought on the side of the highway off some guy. Old but new, tried and true. I kind of got rhythmic or like rhyming by accident. Old but new, tried and true. It's grounded but can fall over. Made from wood, once alive, now motionless. Holds me when I'm tired, supports me when I need it. Someone sold it so I could keep it.
Yep. Yep. That's hot. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else here? Oh, sorry.
Also, whoever goes next, can you like can you read us your thing before you tell us what the object is?
Sure.
Yeah. Cool.
I present the night to you with gentle movements that don't make sound. Savor it. There's more to come, shared between us. Cheers.
Okay.
Object now?
Heavy. Heavy.
I was thinking about like a plate of dinner. and
Okay,
like
Oh, a plate of dinner. Wow.
like
Arjun,
taking
you
the
hungry?
time to like prepare a plate of dinner and then like the action of eating and sharing it.
can you
Between us, cheers. I like that.
It was I present the night to you
Mm.
with gentle movements that don't make sound. Savor it. There's more to come, shared between us. Cheers.
what?
I don't know.
That's amazing. Okay. So wow,
Yeah, like I'm just amazed.
that's a cool idea.
It's awesome. I thought it was your bed at first.
Mm. But that's what songs do. When you write a song and someone thinks it's about one thing, like, you know how many songs I have that are literally about nothing? Like, and then it's like, it speaks to people in another way because we didn't control it by saying, I have this feeling and I want to say this feeling. We didn't control it. So then we let the song do what it wants to do. So someone's going to listen to that and be like, man, that speaks to me because of this. Another person, it speaks to them because of that. But then the song just has a life. It can do what it wants to do. I'm so happy to hear these. Like, you all are so amazing. Oh my goodness. Does someone want to go next?
Mine didn't come together like a whole solid thing. Like I said, I'm not good at in the first place. It's
Wait,
just
no,
like,
that's fine.
okay. Dragging me along the floor, you take me for granted. I bend to hold on to give you strength till I break. Winding, tangling, slithering away behind the furniture. You can't find me when you need me, but you're powerless without me. We hang on to the broken ones, we just can't let go. Tripping you up, knocking you down. There's a few little words, but those are the full sentences.
Nice.
Wow. It definitely did come together like a full thing, or whatever you said it didn't do. It did that.
It didn't feel like it to me, but I believe you.
A whole thing, I think.
I think I usually get stuck in like rhymes, and when something doesn't rhyme, it doesn't feel like the structure's there.
Yeah,
Was it headphones?
that makes sense.
I was gonna do headphones, but then I did
Phone charger.
just a charging cord.
Oh,
I thought it was.
Powerless without.
me. But you can't live without.
I can. Cool. So I'm also not quite fully one sentence or one, I guess, like stanza as it were, but I'm melting away, dripping away, and soon there won't be any of me left. With your neglect will come tragedy, charred remains of what once was. I am nothing without your flame, but with your heat I will soon expire. With your warmth I melt away, bringing comfort and light, sometimes even love. And with my light, I bring warmth and nostalgia. It's the reason I'm alive, and yet the reason I die. To be useful, I must be burned, but once that flame is out, so am I, like garbage. You love to burn me.
Candle?
Sorry, what? Can you?
Yes, the candle.
Oh, part where you said, what is it? You can't, something about the flame, but then you can't live without my light.
Oh gosh. I am nothing without your flame, but with your heat I will soon expire.
There was something can't live without my light. I think you said something.
I mean, fire, I guess really that.
With my light, I bring warmth and nostalgia. It's the reason I'm alive, and yet the reason I die.
Oh my God, yes. Wow.
I guess my real question is, like, you really, before you read that out loud, you were like, these aren't connected. I don't see how this could be a song.
I see like the themes, and like I definitely was tipping to like both themes and like things that are, I think it's not an oxymoron, juxtaposition. So like, living and dying, or for the candle being lit and unlit, and what that does for people. But they weren't like necessarily meant to be attached. It was like one thought, next thought, next thought, and have a theme.
It goes together to me. Like that
Thank
whole
you.
that is beautiful. I'm shook. I'm shook. Like these are all so amazing.
If I can just comment on that.
Ever thought of the different occasions when you like light a candle, for example, in like a ritual or something, but then in a whole different set of really important actions, you like extinguish one, and like what the difference is, and like lighting a candle comes with death often, and extinguishing comes with like celebration sometimes, and it's such a like yeah, I feel like that just fits together so well for me on this site.
Mind blowing. Mind blowing. Does anyone else want to share? I'm like overwhelmed or something. Like I need a drink. I need some water or something. Like I just feel it's so good. You all are so like, oh my God. Okay.
I can
Okay,
share.
I'd like to.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Whoever said that.
I can't
Okay. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, mine also didn't, it was not in the form of a song or like, it didn't take on any form at first, but then after hearing everyone that already shared, it was nice to then look again at what I had, and the editing process already started, and I'm like, oh, you can shape this, and it started to flow, which was nice. With that being said, it didn't. Anyway, let me help you. You have too much. Let me drink that up. You didn't expect it, but I'm beautiful. At the end, if you let loose, forget intention, crumpled, discarded, but you come back to me daily. You need me. You bleed and I show it. I am your proof and I let you go to work. But what do you see in me? Oops, could I could I say you're crazy? Do I inspire in you some design? Or will I be lost along with countless others? Maybe I'm the last. But don't touch me too soon. I won't get so much as a brush stroke and never a credit. Can anyone guess what it is?
Oh.
I had some ideas, but then you said things that contradicted. I was thinking like a paper towel, and then even you're like, maybe you're crazy. It's like the Rorschach test thing. It's like you can pick it.
Yeah. You got it.
Oh shoot! Nice.
It was just like an ink blotting tissue.
I thought it was a car.
A car.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was an easel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good guess.
Totally.
Yeah, Band-Aid as well.
Yeah, I thought Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I thought Band-Aid for sure.
All right.
You're
Can I go
right.
next?
Yes, of course.
All right. Through the windows of your soul, I see you. I want to be you. Then tragedy strikes and time is left to free you. But does it? Yeah. Grapish optics still filtering every bit of pain and unleashing every little bit of flames that it can find. But what do you see? I'm still blind.
What? Oh, am I
Nice.
mute? Dope. Fire. Can you reveal what the object is? I have no idea. What is it?
My webcam, the camera.
I thought maybe a mirror, but that makes sense.
Never would have thought. I never would have thought that. Amazing.
I thought about doing the mirror first, and then I bailed out of that.
No, that's better. This better because it's like you trick us, but it's
Yeah.
Double entendre.
My head. I'm just amazed. Does anyone else want to share who hasn't shared? Thank you, Justin.
I can share.
Okay.
I think you guys will guess this one, but yeah, same thing. I just kind of wrote down like the activity that we did, like what I thought, like very literally what I thought it would say or speak and stuff. Okay, you write down, oh, I write everything you can't speak. I rest between your fingers, for I am useless on my own. I need hands that guide me. I know too many secrets to keep. You can't erase me. I must be held. Shake me if I'm running low. Yeah, that's it.
Shake me if I'm running low.
Was that a pen?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was nice.
Really nice. Wow. Did you end up doing one, Nick?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
You want to hear it?
Okay.
I got tough skin and I smell so clean. Nobody understands how many little juicy pods I'm made up from. Most people think I'm sour, and it may be so, probably even bitter, but you will never know.
Is it an orange?
Laundry detergent? Oh,
I honestly thought it was laundry detergent just because you said pod. Like, I don't know. My brain just.
These little pods.
Lemon.
Ooh,
It's a
deep,
lemon.
deep. I did one. Okay. I remember when you had fun. Worth more than 1,000 words. Snap, snap, snap. It will last longer. Why only the good times? It's been a while since you smiled. I smell the golden hour. Photographic memory, swipe to see. This was the object. My camera.
I love the golden hour. That really is a very evocative thing to.
Yeah. I started one and then moved on. Yeah, but I started one and I just said, I'm too sweet, you drank me anyway. And it was this. It's really sweet, but I definitely downed it. Okay, so wow, I'm like really excited and impressed with everybody's work. I would say that based on like everything that we talked about and the things that we wanted to improve on, there was something I wanted to, like it wasn't necessarily on the list of to talk about, but oh, I wanted to ask, oh, sorry, Nick.
No, you go first.
No, you go
Okay.
first.
I was just thinking about how interesting it is how we do this thing to ourselves where you're like, oh, this isn't that. And I do it so much, like it's unbelievable. And I see the same thing too. I was like, yeah, I fully didn't make it. I wasn't trying to do that at all. And whenever I try to write something, it doesn't really, I get so overwhelmed. But it was just like, it's really interesting that you can even, that everybody could look at their own thing and not be like, this is a perfect song. Like a lot of those could have been songs from the 1940s set to a particular kind of chord change and they'd be like classics. I was like, what the fuck? How is this? Like, it's actually just really amazing that once you find a way to get out of your own way and like not have to deal with the preciousness in the same way where it's like, wow, oh my God, like everything I say is so important. It's like the meaning of my existence. Like I gotta say what it is, right? I can't, because it's just like so intense. But it's actually just funny to even hear like how much everybody's thing was just about whatever they wanted to say actually. Like if they were all like everybody fully said whatever they were thinking about that had nothing to do with that object. Like, and it just like, but they were good.
Yeah, like you just hide behind the object so you don't actually have to say what you feel, but you still can in a way.
You're doing it, you just have to.
You just have to. You can't think of anything other than what you like want to say.
Nick, were you talking about too though how folks like would say like I did like it's like they would preamble about the piece and sort of like make it less great than it is in their preamble and then was that what you were saying?
Well, yeah, sort of in the sense that like lots of people, I mean, I feel like we always do that, but even more so in the sense that like, oh yeah, you know what, this is actually what I did want to say, so thanks for bringing this up. But like, okay, in the line of work that I'm involved in, which is professional music work, a song is truly, literally valuable. They're traded like Pokemon cards, like, but even more, they're traded like extremely, extremely rare and valuable things. They're so valuable, you guys. Like, it's actually fucking crazy. And like, you would think like, oh, there's already so many people writing songs. There's got to be enough songs out there. There's not enough songs out there. I don't know why. And like, what I could do, so because like I'm not somebody who writes lyrics often, but I'm somebody who works with songs a lot. And every person who shared, those are functional songs. Like I could make up chords and get Kirsten to sing down anyone's thing that they wrote, whether they thought it was a song or not. And at the end, you'd be like, that was a song.
I mean, I hear a challenge.
You want to, I mean, like, it's over.
Like, show us.
Do you want to do it?
Okay.
Do you want to pick any one person and just sing like make up a song on it?
Yeah.
Can somebody offer up their song then? Can we use your song?
The problem is there's going to be a heavy lag because of the, that's okay. It's fine. We'll try.
I mean, like maybe you could like talk about it later. I don't want to take away too much time from today, but I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see how you guys would work this into something. It doesn't have to be. It's just an idea.
But just take any one piece of like any one of those songs and Kirsten just blast it.
Yeah.
Someone, okay, shout out random lines from your thing. Let's do. So just a random line.
All right. Standing against the wall turned off.
Standing against the wall turned off. Who has another line from theirs? It doesn't have to go. Like I'm trying to say.
Through the windows of your soul, I see you.
Okay.
Did you forget and leave me running?
Ooh.
Alive.
Can't find me when you need me, powerless without me.
Mm-hmm.
You're like an Energizer bunny, moving so fast, people look at you funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Bars.
That was.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Sparkly baby, beaded body.
Oh, say that again.
Sparkly baby, beaded body.
That's the chorus.
Pointed tips, your pain is so clear. I see through you.
Oh, I didn't get that whole thing. Maybe if we typed it in the chat. I think I got most of whatever the lines everyone said. I'm like an old time person, like I write things by hand. So, I guess it's not really old time. A lot of people do it, but especially for songwriting, I just can't type. So trying to keep up.
It's a totally different connection to the medium, to the content. I get it. I'm the same way.
I have to write. So first, I think maybe I'll allow Nick to talk about like chord progressions a little bit.
Wait, do you want to just blast those notes on top of this first?
Ooh. Okay. So here's what I would do if I were singing this and making this into a song. I'd probably leave out some of the words, right? For the sake of singing. Standing against the wall, turned off. Windows of your soul, I see you. Crap, I lost it. I can't hear you anymore. Did you forget and leave me running? Did you forget and leave me running? Did you forget and leave me running? Okay, there's that. I'm kind of struggling because I can't really hear you, but do you see? It's like a song.
That's how you strugulate.
That was amazing.
I'll make sure that for the next workshop, I get that figured out so that your mics can run at the same time.
Yeah, we should try and do that next time.
I'll make sure I test it for sure for next week.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so you're all like bomb songwriters, but you see how we just took like random words from everybody's thing and like put it together and it's just like a thing. And still, do we know what the song's about? No. Is that okay? Yes, because if we sang that to someone, they'd be like, "Oh, wow, so deep."
And cry and stuff.
Idea what I'm singing about. Huh?
Yeah, and people will cry and they'll be like, that was so meaningful. It like honestly I'm so moved. And you're like, that song's about a vacuum cleaner. And you can't do
You got a
that.
vacuum cleaner, a charger, a webcam, and what else? This beady bally bunny. Yeah, the chorus is that. But like, for real, these are songs. So, chord progressions. Who's familiar with chord progressions? And like putting together the music part of the song. Does everyone like desire to do that, or are we like writing with instrumentals, or?
I desire it and I feel like I have an understanding of it, but I definitely don't.
You
I
probably
mean, I do, but I would want to get better.
Same. Like it's hard to get to. I find I get stuck in really formulaic chord progressions. Like I understand just enough theory that it's becomes a problem. Like if I knew nothing about theory, I could just do stuff, or if I knew more, I could really.
Okay, it might be so bad that I'm saying this, but like literally copy songs.
It's not bad.
Like just copy a song from head to toe, right? And then change the melody a little bit, and then change the chords a little bit later.
Play the chords backwards.
Play them backward. Like copy.
If you make a list of your favorite songs of all time, make a list of your top 5 favorite songs, and then you gotta look at them with a magnifying glass. Go get one. Look at the song name you wrote down with a magnifying glass. You'll discover that that song is copied from another song. Sorry, it is. Like, it's just because things don't move through time by accident. They just don't. And like the fact that songs are around and that we think about them is partially a reminder that life has gone on for a very that whole chord change thing, I think is kind of interesting because it does kind of become like a pretty big to get stuck in, where it feels like you're trying to be super clever, and we're all trying to be super clever. But and also, okay, I just want to say I if anyone has any questions, just stop me at any time because I might go off like talking about what makes sense to me, but I'm like living in a little bubble where I'm like, so please.
I think it's great what you're saying.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What do you do in a situation like I swear down I have ADD, and I'll be writing, and then a bird comes, and then I lost track of what I was writing. How do you get back to that?
Oh my gosh, that's actually one of the deepest parts of this whole thing, which is like, what, like, oh man, it's like so embarrassing, but I feel like I have to do it. It's like, what is this song? But like, actually, what's a song?
You're
And
asking me
I kind of anybody, but sure, like, and yeah, what's a song?
what is a song
Yeah.
or what is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
song that I'm working on?
No, like honestly, yeah, I know. I feel like it's really like an existential question, kind of, but like, what is a song?
I would say that it's a series of thoughts put together and feelings put together in a melody.
A
Yeah.
collection of sounds over time.
Mm-hmm.
Form of communication.
Undoubtedly, everything anybody here is gonna say be right, just so we're clear. Like, and it's so cool.
Personal expression.
Yeah. For me, the way I always think about what is a song is it's like, uh, it's something that you can remember.
I like that.
It's kind of actually almost anything you can remember, and like it's kind of funny too because like you guys know Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb.
Does everybody here agree that that's the lamb? Right? But if I was gonna be like Mary had a little lamb, her fleece was white as snow. That was lit. That was lit. What I did, but was that
Was that
was
auto tune?
huh? Yeah, I have auto tune naturally. Actually, they built it for me.
It was the
But
jazz version.
yeah, that truly was the jazz version. But that's again back to this whole thing, which is like, was that Mary Had a Little Lamb? I mean, it honestly sort of was because I used the words. But what if I was like, doo dee boop dee boop 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 boop, and I told you that that was Mary Had a Little Lamb? You'd be like, what's it? And like, it's kind of one of these interesting things about songs, right? Like, what do you remember about that song you like? Because one of the things that's really interesting about songs that I think super important to talk about in this context is that songs are older than buildings. And the actual in like the practice of building songs is absolutely as old as language. Like I just if you want to try to convince me of otherwise, I'll pay you per hour to do it because I don't think you'll win. Like and what was the purpose of songs? Really was just to translate any kind of like information. Like actually too, even just rhythm, right? Like this is crazy, but like can you guys do this with me? I'm just kind of trying to prove to myself how ridiculous this internet shit really is because like if we were in the same space, like we could really use it and we didn't know anything about each other's consciousness, we could use exercises like this to start to figure out that we have an understanding. And that's part of where songs truly came from. That's why they're still around today, because it's part of the original way that we parsed understanding between each other, because we're coming from different places, right? And so how that actually works is through this thing called shared language. And so a lot of that shared language is rhythm stuff. So again, I went off on this tangent in response to that question, which was like, yo, okay, so I have this song I'm writing, and then I forget it. Like, what's the deal? And the whole thing with music is that because it's so old, it's been around from long, long, long before there were sound recordings. And in fact, sound recordings are only in their 100th year, like right around now. And for that whole rest of that time, let's say somebody, like you went up to somebody in 1910 and you were like, yo, I want to hear Mary Had a Little Lamb. And there's no recording of it. So how are you going to hear Mary Had a Little Lamb? The only way is that somebody has to know it, know the whole thing, remember it, right? So actually, too, what we're really working with music is remembering stuff. And before there were recordings, people had to remember all these whole ass songs, and like, it's really such an important part of what music is. And it's also part of why things are really challenging today, because it's just like we can all create so much music, we can create sound recordings. So if somebody wants to hear a song again, they can just hear the recording of it. But what we're really working with is just like memory, right? And I think it's like honestly kind of a big question. Like, what are you more likely to remember? Because I think a lot of times we end up trying to do things that we want instead of what comes really naturally. Pointing back to this same exercise with the writing that we just did, where this is like a lot better than the stuff that I try to write intentionally. And I feel like there's another aspect there where it's just like, if we can actually stop feeling so much shame about who we are, then like how much material can you actually pull from a song you're listening to? How much material can you pull from your own shit? And what I mean by how much material can you pull from your own shit, it's like, do you remember the things that you do when you do them flippantly even? Like when I did that stuff with my music teacher where we were doing like improvised jazz music, like going, if I would do something like that, he would always stop me and be like, okay, do it again. Do it again. What did you just do? Do it again. And I'd be like, fuck, I don't remember what I did. And then he's like, so did you really mean it? Because you obviously know you didn't. You know you didn't. Because if you did, it wouldn't be something that you can't remember.
Okay. So, you know, we have this advice to like copy stuff and just so we can find our own voice and our own rhythm and creativity and change it, which is great. But one of my problems is that I keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's really hard because that's what I remember versus me creating something that's original, right? We hear it on the radio, we hear it on Spotify, we hear it there, and it's the same top, whatever, over and over and over again. And so my brain just thinks that's how you write a song, right? That's what a song is. So like, how do we use that as a way, like a framework, yes, to write a song and understand chords and chord progression, but also how do we be original and creative, you know, when that's all we hear?
Oh my gosh, I fucking love these. Oh my god, I'm so grateful that you asked that question. That's badass. I think the same thing too when I like walk out my house. It's like it's all the same drum sound, everybody's music sounds the exact same way. But the question comes back to the same thing, that it's actually like one of our biggest, if you were an athlete, one of your jobs would be to run. You'd have to run like every day, right? Well, as a musician, our job is to listen in that way that an athlete would run, that you like listen like a basic health keeping practice that you have to do regularly and like orderly, you know? Like set aside like your half an hour for listening in a day. And uh if you take some of that time to uh to pick some pieces of music that are totally outside, it, like, you know, we're really unbelievably fortunate that in the day we live in you can get access to like all the world's indigenous musics through a fucking computer. Like, that's the Rosetta Stone of the entire universe. Shit's all on Tidal, Spotify, whatever, and like it's buried, not getting picked out or checked out. But like any of it, even be it Western European classical music, is just full of shit that was put there for one reason only, for you to memorize it. Like that's why all the old ancient music exists, to make your mind, to show you that you actually have the capacity to learn something that's like 45 minutes long from memory. And these are like the things I feel like, and then again, so the tough thing is like, okay, well shit, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, so I want to do one of these tougher things, like learn a 45-minute piece from memory in like a more complex way. But then you're like, fuck, oh god, that's gonna be so hard. We have these crazy gifts, which are like these recordings, all of this different stuff, and then like listening is one aspect, but like if you were an athlete, you couldn't just like go for a run. You have to like figure out how to listen. So like what would it be like to take a piece of music and just listen to it like 70 times? And I mean, you don't have to go that far. I'm being like this, but like listen to a piece of music a lot, and while you're listening to it, write out the different components that you hear in it. And like, you know what? A lot of people are like, hey, I don't know, I don't have the musical language. Fuck it. Like, make up your own words for what you think this sounds like and what you think that sounds like. Do you hear that sound in this, but then also in that? Hey, you can hear that. Somebody can tell you later that that's called a minor chord if you want. But it's not going to help you as much as it's going to help you to be able to like hear when things are different. And most importantly, number one, is hear when things are the same. Because all of this shit, since it's based on memorization, the only system of memorization in the universe that's ever worked is time. And it's like why we build our whole world around clocks and stuff. But it's actually just because people were drumming on skin way before there was a Big Bang.
Do you mind if I just say something really quick? Just Keela had asked. I would say like copying something or taking the same chords as a song and writing over it, it gives you a chance to kind of like get a song written, and then we can go into another stage of like editing, changing it. So then we're like, okay, I don't want it to sound like a pop song, so I want to change it. I want to reharmonize. I want to put some jazz chords. I want to take this melody and, you know, like we can get into that, but it's like getting the song out of you is sometimes it takes all the frustration out of thinking of chords or where do I begin or what melodies, just to get the song out of you, get the words out. Later, right? So does that help a little bit?
Yes, thank you so much. Those were perfect. Thank you.
And also too, like I feel like originality is kind of overrated in this one sense, that like it's actually so impossible for you not to be original. And it's like our judgment of ourselves and our judgment of other people that makes it so hard to see that it's impossible actually for you to copy someone. like without imparting your own stamp of your own humanity onto it. And like if we can start to use the work to be able to just see ourselves, like use the work as a mirror in that way. Cause like no, you would never look in the mirror and be like, that's somebody else. Even if you tried to look like somebody else, because just like you'll all it's like that. And then we think that our voices aren't way and the way we write isn't that way. It's just totally nuts. Like every one of us is so unique and plays such an important part in the like orchestra of the whole thing. And it's just really hard, I feel like, for people to hold on to their thing, uh, because there's so much pressure to try to like figure out how you're gonna do your thing like someone else does their thing. And I honestly spent like more than half of my professional career doing that, only to find out that the only thing people call me for today is that stuff that only I do, that everybody didn't like me doing 10 years ago. It's because it's your shit. And the earlier you figure out that you don't have to judge your own shit, like then you can start to find any of it and it will make you happy.
Whenever I write lyrics, I feel like they're cheesy. Does anyone have any? It just relates to what you're saying about judging your stuff. And then I get stuck and I just don't write them.
Mm,
I'm trying to get out of that.
sometimes.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, a little cheese is all right. But if you want to avoid cheese, then sometimes, well, this activity we just did, like nobody sounded cheesy to me. So that's an option. I do have another activity. I can maybe explain it so that you can do it on your own time. But it's called a blackout poem. So basically, you'll take, let's say, a bio written about one of your favorite leaders or something, or someone who's a great speaker, like say Martin Luther King or Barack Obama or anybody who's an amazing speaker. Get a manuscript, of one of their speeches, right? You put it in a Word document, and then you just pick and choose cool things they say. But the way I call it a blackout poem, because I will take, you know how in a Word document you can highlight things in black to just black them out? I'll just highlight things that I don't want to like erase them, if that makes sense. And then you're left with just cool things. You're just left with cool words that you can choose from. And usually it won't be corny. Also, write the corny songs, and then we can talk next week about like decorning music. We'll write that down.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm writing it.
Keeping the kernels off the hat.
But the reason we were talking about like copying chords is because of this. Okay, I'm gonna play the same chords, and I'm sure like you could sing any song over them, because like all songs these days usually work with the same. So let's say, okay, I'm gonna play G, E, C, and D, okay? If I should stay, I will only be in your way. Watch. No one, oh no, wait. No one can get in the way of what I'm feeling, right? It's the same, it's always the same. What's another song? I'm sure you're hearing.
Someone like you.
Someone like you. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you say sometimes in the right. You get it, right? It's just yeah, just take the chords, run with it, and then you can always change it. Because I'm sure if you looked up the chords, it wouldn't be these exact chords, but variation. So you just take somebody's chords, you write something. You could even take, never mind, I'll find someone like you, and you can change the lyrics to something else, but same melody. Then worry about the melodies later, right? Like if you know you struggle with melodies, just get a melody and just use that melody. You don't have to be original right away, right? And it's also a good opportunity if you already write songs, because I know some of you do. It's a good opportunity to develop your vocabulary, like your singing vocabulary or rapping or whatever rhythmic styles, if you just use someone else's just to feel it. And then maybe you could say, because it's like a language, right? So maybe you could hear someone do a little scat thing and you mimic it. Then you go, okay, that's in my vocabulary now. So I can now pull that skill out, that tone or that scratchy thing they did, or the rhythm they gave, you know? And it's not really like everything's copying. You can't learn unless you copy. Even the example that Nick gave with the runner, like the runner copies, like, and then takes it and then raises the bar after they've already got it down. Then they raise the bar. But it's okay to just take something for the sake of writing.
And a lot of it too with the taking songs, like it's hard for us to see that this is tradition because commercialism stepped in and was like, it's actually all about the individualism, the songwriter, they're so important. But how songs worked before it was all about people becoming superstars was it was about everybody learning everybody's song. And then like there were these older songs that just absolutely everybody knew. And I think a lot of that stuff too, again, actually what you were saying about the whole thing being cheesy, like because that's real. I feel that so much I can't even actually deal with it. But like maybe the deal is it's actually that you're really cheesy, you know, and that like how bad could that be at the end of the day? Like that the song's cheesy, you know.
Really not bad. Cheesy,
corny. Real song. Here's a real song I wrote. It's really cheesy. It's called "I Just Called to Say I Love You." There wouldn't be there wouldn't be the universe like because what's cheesy to somebody is like possible to say for somebody else, and like who are, who are any of us to then like just be the decision maker about all this shit to do? Because like imagine if we all went with our hearts and we're like, I'm not fucking my I wrote. Embarrassing. I mean, sorry, I said everyone's hard. I don't know if everyone's felt the same. I don't like. And then but like just being able to share it, like you realize that it doesn't necessarily like, uh, like there's so much more, and like anything that seems cheesy too, I feel like you can just go into it, you know, like what was the real intention, and then if that intention is pure, then is it cheesy or is it dope?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too that I meant to say about the copying stuff is that like the people who wrote the tunes worth copying are the teachers and elders and ancestors and like some of the littest people who ever lived. And you can bet your ass that they wrote those songs so that you 70 years from then could lift them. That was the goal. Like we're totally allowed. Totally allowed. And actually, even in the legal infrastructure of copyright, you are allowed to go and lift any person's song, chord for chord, write your own song on top, put your name where it says who wrote it. You can legally do that, I swear to God. It's like they protected that right of the songwriter to lift chords from anything. You could never be sued for it. You can't. It's not wrong. And then the last thing that I would kind of add on that tip is like, how many people know about like Mary Lou Williams or like Duke Ellington or like Charles Mingus or like Charles Parker and all these names where it's like all this stuff that you hear about, but then it's like, okay, well, whatever, that's jazz. But then like, because Keela, I was especially like, I was just thinking about this when you asked that question because of the beat poetry stuff.
Mhm.
What would be really cool, and Calvin, you're gonna just laugh at me for saying this, is like, go and find a song called Ornithology by Charlie Parker and write a poem to the first chunk of it.
Okay.
And you're only allowed to say a word when Charlie Parker plays a note to ornithology. And then if you learn ornithology by writing a poem to it, you are a legend. And just put words on that much of it, and you'll see that it took you far out of your comfort zone because you don't do the stuff that Charlie Parker did in that song. You just don't.
Yeah.
I played the saxophone for years. I never did any of the stuff that was in the first few minutes of that song. And then once I learned it, I immediately was hipper to everyone. And I tried for years to be hip. But the one thing I didn't want to do was learn the elders' shit. And it turned out that that was my one and only problem. It's a gag because it's like so obvious.
I try that. I'm gonna try that. I don't know. I feel like the most important thing for me personally out of this session was learning that songwriting is like a language that's passed down from like teachers and elders, similarly to how we teach people how to speak, right? We teach them words. We start with the alphabet. Everybody copies the alphabet. It's always A, B, C, D. There's a melody. We all know it. We all learn it in preschool. So I feel like songwriting is like that. Like that's what I get from what you guys were saying. It's like we're preschoolers, we're children, you know, and we have to learn, we have to copy, right? To learn, to phonetically learn, to melodically learn, all of that. So that was cool. Thank you.
I'm interested in what Nick's talking about listening to the music from elders and teachers. I feel like there's probably, you know, entire university courses, not that you need higher education to learn about that stuff, but I feel like there's so much information to unpack there. I wonder if there's some kind of like a starter kit or pointers about how to dig it up on whatever listening service.
My pointer is actually, I got that actually. I know the answer to that. So our generation, we're used to being able to access like a bajillion pieces of information to do our research. Whenever we do research, it's like you research from this, and you have to look over the whole scope of shit. How research works in music is you pick one song. One song. And the truth about it, why this tradition is so good, is because you can pick any fucking song. Like, if you, and like, for example, just pick the greatest elders ever, like Louis Armstrong. I don't know, like, who here's ever fucking actually sat down and listened to some Louis Armstrong records? You know, because he's like considered to be. I know I'm not dissing everyone by acting like you don't listen to Louis Armstrong because I know you're all cool.
I just want to say about your cheesy comment, Jessica, how cheesy are the lyrics to What a Wonderful World?
No!
Like sometimes cheese is good.
Well, I feel like I feel like cheese when the first time people say those things, it's not cheesy, but then it becomes repeated and becomes a cliche, and that's where cheese comes from. But
Cheese comes from.
but I hear what you're saying about. Sorry, yeah, go. I'm I'm very conflicted.
I get it though. I get what you're saying.
Because it's true and authentic and repeatable and teachable. But cliche, I'm not saying that. I don't know what I'm saying. I think it's like a self-defeatist attitude. Like you can't win. You can't win.
Maybe a little bit, but I also do understand what you're saying though.
Cool.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, one of the things that we're given to say Again, honestly, this is some deep shit from the real crypt of what's up with songs. Like, people think that songs are just things that you come upon your life, but it's never true. Songs are fucked, and songs will and can change your life. It's fucking crazy, and you don't know what you're doing when you sing a song, and like you don't know what you're doing when you write a song. I know a lot of people, like I'm not kidding, who have written songs to only find out years later that they were like preparing them for that moment that was about to come, and they're so clearly about that that there's like no way it could be anything else. So there's also this one aspect, right, where we're just like trying to get out of our way and see what it is, you know? Because, like, because a lot of the things that we get given to say, we don't have the authority to say yet. And if you say something like, I see babies crying, I watch them grow, they'll learn much more than I'll ever know, but you're like some fucking loser. Like, it was not going to mean as much as if you're like, if it's so clear that we know where that's coming from, right? So, and they're all like this. Who knows why anything comes to anybody? We just all get it, and like any part that you capture, you've just captured a little piece of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Is this something that we could like touch on again? Because I feel like for me, one of the complexities of songwriting is, yeah, like this sense of individualism, and like everyone wants to write a song maybe for a different reason. And one of the things I'm interested in is accessing like the artistry, just like the following whatever it is, that intangible whatever that's driving you, or like you said, getting out of your own way, or like accessing something that you're not quite sure where it's coming from, as opposed to like there could be another approach where like you want to put out an album, so you need like between 8 and 12 songs, and like there's like different intentions, or I don't even know what it is, but do you guys understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, just like
Like how to, are you wondering sort of how to approach songwriting for the different intentions?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly, because like each intention is legitimate in itself. And how, so like when I sit down to like a songwriting workshop, it feels like something that's actually so complex and so layered, and people bring different things to it, bring the different intentions. And so how do you explore each of those intentions? And I think it's like tied up in the complexity of like what song is and what it's for, and why do we care, why do we even try, why do we want to do it? And that's, I think that's where I get caught up, is like I stop myself before I start, because I'm wondering like, well, why do I want to make a song? That's a good face.
right? You hear all those questions that you just asked? Like, what were they again? It was like, why am I singing? Why would I write a song? What was the other one?
I don't know, I was improvising.
I think, do you say like, who am I to write a song? Was that what you said?
Yeah, something like that. Like why should I, why do I even want to communicate this thing? Or yeah.
Write that question down in your own personal journal and honest to God, write the answer to why are you writing a song? And like, why am I playing music? It seems daunting. It actually seems like shitty, but there's no way that it's as daunting as it seems like it is. And like, this is another thing that's come up with a lot of professional musicians I work with. Just the feeling of like, I don't know what. Yeah, Hannah, this was your question before about like releasing, like what to do.
I feel like it comes back to the overthinking. Like we always come in with the intention, I'm going to write a song. But what if you just let that intention go? Like you're not here to write a song, you're here to write a feeling, or you're here to write, those thoughts that are in your head, and you just let it out. And maybe just focus on like the one thing that you feel or that you think. It goes back to that first exercise that we did too. Like sometimes the process of like knowing that we're writing a song freaks us out before we even start writing. Like, I have to be writing a song right now. But if we think about it and reshape the thought, like, I'm not writing a song, I'm expressing a feeling, or I'm talking about my mom, you know, I'm writing out a metaphor. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, don't like, okay, remember earlier when I said you don't have to know what the song's about before, during, or after you wrote it? You also don't really need to know why either. Like, I think we just want to know for some reason, but like the answer could be really complex when you write it in your journal, but also the answer might be because I can.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would say to actually write it out. Because
And that's my reason.
that complex, like, why am I writing a song? Like, if I don't know, and again, I hope I'm not just being a bozo, but like, I really think it's actually so, it's like, because I like it. Because I like to sing and I need a song to sing. Like, if that's the reason that you're writing a song, then doesn't that kind of just like, isn't that a fucking, it's sick? Because then you're like, here's my rubric. My rubric isn't to change the world and write a song that everyone holds hands and sings. It's just because I want a song. Or like, even when it comes to making a record or like writing a songs for these purposes, it's like, honest to God, why? Why are you doing it? Why? Like, is it because you're like, because your sister or mom or brother did it and you're just like, there's this little seed in your head of music? Like, I feel like because I've done a lot of this kind of stuff a lot, and people have really simple why answers, I think. And I think a lot of us see a really complicated why answer, and trying to get to the root of that can really, I feel like, get to the root of songs. Because then you know why you're doing something, then it just, you can do it.
I was just going to say, like, with my like theater background, I am sometimes working on like device work, and like in the like writing prompts and that, and a lot of times in my designs as well, it's like I always find I have a reason to do something, and it's typically tied to like me. And like to be selfish in that is like I found something very important. Like if you look into my candle metaphor, I am definitely feeling burnt out in this pandemic, like a lot of us are. And like you can read into that and like to take up that space myself and be like, no, that's because I'm burnt out. Like it's not for other people to feel burnt out. This is like part of me. And like if you feel the same way and you relate, that's great. But it's like my creativity and my space. It's yeah, that's like how I kind of take it anyway.
That's a great, thank you for sharing that. I think that writing songs is a really good way to understand yourself. That could be a why. Because I find when I allow myself to use metaphors and things to kind of step out of the way and say, let me just personify this glass of water or something and write, I usually will like accidentally stumble across parts of myself. Like accidentally I'll say, whoa, I feel like that, right? It's a really good way to understand yourself. But I know what you're saying also about just there's different intentions. Some people write songs to make millions, some people write songs for whatever, but I think like I think that we all just have different reasons at different times, and but it's good to define the why. And it got me thinking a lot about my why. I think I have different reasons why. But yeah.
Straight up be able to admit, like, I want to make a song because I want to be popular and I want people to like my song. That is a reason that people write songs. It is absolutely one of the driving forces behind the industry of music. And if that's what you're interested in, that's lit. That's super cool. You can make money for you. You can make some money for me also. But it's good to know if that's where your intention is at, because then, like, then if it's really just to make money, then you already know what you need to do. You need to copy, 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 steal, 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 exploit, 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 and you will achieve your goal.
What exactly do you do, if you don't mind me asking? Are you like a manager of some sort, or you a songwriter? Or what do you? Yeah, yeah.
Um, I
Because I saw you playing the piano earlier. I was trying to figure out if you was an engineer of some sort or a producer. Or...
I am an engineer actually. But mostly what I do is actually play piano and sax. Like I'm like a backup musician in a particular way.
Okay, okay.
And I work with lots and lots of different people. And like my favorite thing to do is perform music on stage. So I end up working with lots of artists, lots of different songs and stuff. So I'm like always around song.
Okay. Okay.
But I also do production and all that kit and caboodle. And if anybody wants to talk about production related kind of stuff in regards to making our own tracks and stuff, like I got that shit on.
We'll definitely be talking about that like at the end of this series because we'll get into different things like putting the music together and all the stuff. And then in the end, we're going to talk about sharing and performing and all that stuff. So hopefully everything that everyone wanted to improve on, we get a little taste of that because that's important. We really wanted this workshop to not really be like, this is how you write a song, but more so a time for us to discover. Because like the journey to a song is different every time. You can wake up with a full song in your head. You can start a song now and not finish for 5 years. So we can't really say how to write a song, but we can give like ideas and spark thoughts and discussions, and we can talk and break it down and just discover what our own journey to songs will be. And I really hope that we can help with that. And I'm really grateful that you all came tonight. And like I said, we were just, before this, we're just like, whoa, people actually want us to help them do something. That's amazing. Like that shows trust, that you trust us. And we really appreciate that a lot. So we can still talk a little bit, like I'm chilling, so.
I just wanted to say one thing.
Yeah.
And it's just something that's been like on my mind recently. When I was a baby, I have memories of crying, like crying if I had to eat something I didn't want to eat, or if I didn't get the toy I wanted. But I have memories of crying, and then my cries would just become like a melody. And like it was like a melody that I would cry and sing and cry and sing, and until I just got tired and fell asleep. And the last time I tried writing a song was when I was moving back to Halifax from Montreal, and I kind of like started building a life there and like had like intimate relationships, and I just cut them off. Well, I didn't cut, like I moved so suddenly, and like I've always felt this thing about like, you know, I can't live two places at once. I don't want to have like a long distance thing. And I just had a hard time, like someone I was seeing was really sad, and like I was too, but maybe I just had a hard time expressing sadness, or like just even with myself, like I had a hard time feeling or like expressing my feeling just to myself. And so that's the last time I tried writing a song. It was to try and help me express a feeling and like feel something. Feel like, I don't know, just like feel those emotions. I just wanted to let you all know.
So when you sat to try and write a song, you said that's the last time you did that. How did it go? Did anything come of that?
Like 20 seconds of some song.
I think, oh, I'm sorry, continue.
Oh no, yeah, just about 20 seconds.
I was saying, I think that everything you said sounded like a song to me. Like you said some things, like as you were talking, I was like, let me just write a couple of things down that he's saying. So you said when you were a baby, you would cry. And you're like, my crying would become a melody, and I cried and sang and cried and sang until I fell asleep. And then you said, I can't live in two places at once. And you said they were sad. And I guess I was too, but I guess I just have a hard time expressing emotions even to myself. And then you're like, that's the last time I tried to write a song. That sounds like a song to me. That sounds like a song.
Kirsten, how you broke that whole situation down was fire, by the way. Let's just throw that out there.
Thank you. But that is a song. That's a song that you cried and sang and cried and sang until you fell asleep.
And this is also how like the real gift of the songwriter is actually the God to able to listen, because Kirsten was listening to what Arjun was saying. You like all of a sudden all of this stuff becomes part of this material that we're working with, and then because even when you were talking about babies crying, like you ever really 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 listen to a baby cry? It's one of my favorite sounds. You ever really listen to a rooster crow or a cow moo?
Come on, you obviously don't have kids, right?
Yeah, clearly.
Because you know that it's like the most primal, biological, annoying sound that a mother could hear a baby cry, right? It's like literally like peeling the skin off of your body.
And it's even worse for a daddy.
Say something because I was like, yeah. I'm looking specifically. I'm like, yeah.
I'm just playing. Nick, I hear you. I hear you.
No, you're gonna hate me. You're really gonna hate me, but I'm gonna say it. It sucks, but like, whenever I'm around and a baby's crying, I'm like, I just like I can't like as a saxophone player, I genuinely cannot even comprehend. I'm like, holy fuck! If I did that, I could blow the door off of a bar.
That's amazing.
It's one of the most incredible, truly incredible sounds. If you really, really, really listen to it, it's like, could you even let your body do that? Could you? Ah! Like, I could. You see how much I even held back right there to try?
It sounds so cathartic. Now I kind of want to try.
Well,
Nick,
little,
I
little
gotta
kids
ask a question. Is it 0 to 6 months cry or 1 to 3?
Like, what age category are we talking here? Yeah.
But again, like all of it, and this is true too. Like you all see, like by hearing how different these babies' cries are. Like even by the age of the baby of the cry, is it a song? At that,
Nick, you're a deep guy. I want you to know that.
You're a deep guy.
You're a deep guy.
Okay, so everybody bring a baby on the next call.
You don't have
We'll try to harmonize.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm also not a parent, but like when little kids sing or just any kind of vocal expressions, they have not only do they not have a complex holding back their lyrics, there's nothing holding back. Their bodies just know what to do. It's amazing what those it's incredible, and you can never get it back.
I'll record it for you, and then I'll send it to you, Jessica. How's that?
All right.
Dude, I would take some of that for sure. I would take it.
No, but the thing is, Nick will take it and make it into like a fire instrumental. I guarantee. You know what? Let's try it. Let's. No, but I think about the crying thing, like the screaming thing with everything in you. We can't do it anymore. I can't I think it was a couple years ago I went on a roller coaster and like literally screaming made me sick. It wasn't the roller coaster, just like the yelling. My body was like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I was ready to throw up from yelling so hard. So I know what you mean.
I love yelling. I love to yell so much.
In the audience right here, though.
I just wanted to. Oh, sorry.
No, you're talking to me.
I was just going to bring up that there is actually a question in the chat also for Kirsten and Nick.
I see that.
The message says Kirsten and Nick.
When and why did you write your first song?
My first song was, oh my gosh. Is it one, do I have to be able to remember it?
No.
I got in trouble.
I disagree.
You think I have to remember it and perform it right now? Um, I got in trouble and my mother sent me to my room and it was just a song of sorrow. I don't remember what the words were, but I was like, nobody loves me. And yeah, that was probably one of my first songs. And it was just the dumbest thing, like, just go to your room because you're acting up. Like, I was like, not, I was behaving inappropriately. So it was like, go to your room. But I remember being in my room, like, I'm going to write a really sad song about how everybody hates me and I'm so sad. I remember that. Dramatic Leo ascendant. Like, don't, everybody did love me, okay? They loved me. But I was just full on drama. I wrote a song about how I'm so sad and nobody loves me. They just want me to stay in my room all day. Yeah. And it was probably like 10 minutes. But yeah, that was my first. And I probably wrote some other little things, but that was the first time I was like, oh, I'm writing a song to express these emotions. So yeah.
I feel like that's
Was
like
it good? Was it actually a good one?
Oh,
Sorry,
it wasn't anything. It was just me being super dramatic until my mom was like, okay, you can come out of your room. Like,
I'll tell you this. When I first started writing music, I'm good now, but when I first started writing, I tried to show it to my parents, and my parents were like, Bud, you might want to just not do that. Like, don't do that. That's upsetting. That's upsetting to the ear. I can taste the grossness in it. Like, it's horrible.
I'm a 32-year-old professional musician, and my parents still do that to me every time I bring them anything that I'm working on.
that is so sad. No, no.
But you do it anyway, and that's where it is.
I think it's better to just believe that can't doesn't exist. So, you have to go for it. If it's in you to do, then just do it.
Yeah, and like other people's, like your dreams, every one of your dreams are just too fragile for anyone else. Like your parents, your best friends, like any of it, it's, like it doesn't take very much for somebody to say something they even think is constructive about something that you care about to fuck you up for years, decades plural. Like, it's and the only thing I got out of it, out of surviving that whole situation in music in general, is you just truly realize that you're only doing it because you can't stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, with us in Bermuda, it's a cultural thing, right? So with yeah. So with us, it's 65,000 people here on the entire island, and they don't necessarily like with Canada. You guys have Drake, and you have Tory Lanez, and you have those artists that have made a name for themselves. Unfortunately, here we don't have that, so we don't believe it can happen. And my goal when I first started doing the music was to disprove that whole entire thing. Because I don't know, have you ever heard of Collie Buds? You've heard of Collie Buds? Fire, Bria, that is awesome. I saw you shake your head. That's fire to me. Like, I'm excited now.
Who has?
Collie Buds is a reggae singer, right? But he's from here. Speaks with a Jamaican accent, and is from New Orleans. Like, he was born in New Orleans, grew up here, and then now performs as a Jamaican for some weird reason. Nobody understands, but it works for his genre, right? And I'm excited that Bria knows who that is. or anybody knows that who that is, but for here, he's not a big name at all. Right? And he's doesn't do much for the culture here, right? So he's kind of here, but not really. And so because of that, there's no real idol for us to look up to and say, yes, I can be that, right? And so, you know, it's kind of a real cultural thing. Like, you guys are lucky because you have, you know, the Drakes, you have the Tory Laneses, you have those guys that are from Canada that are doing that. If I'm assuming that all of you are in Canada right now, which would be pretty awesome.
I think so, but I'm not really sure.
No, I'm really excited to do this course because of the fact that, you know, I'm chasing my dreams. I want to do this farther than just Bermuda. I no one listens to anybody from Bermuda like that, and it's upsetting to me. And then on top of that, I don't want to go to the UK to fit in with the UK artists and all. I want to do it from here, right? Where I can be recognized worldwide from here.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
It's hard. Like, I think that we have Canada, but we also like have Nova Scotia. And Nova Scotia itself can feel that way, I think. Like, not to say it's the same feeling, but like the idea of, okay, like, I don't want to say nobody's made it big because people are actually starting to from Scotia now. Yeah, like I'm seeing it now. But for a long time, that's how I felt too. Like, who do I look to, you know, but sometimes we got to look to ourselves because sometimes what we're here to do hasn't been done in front of us or in our families. So we just got to get out there and do it.
that ass.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're part of this workshop and like working to yeah, get to that notoriety. And also just like thinking that, yeah, I'm like, if there aren't any humans who are super well known, I'm like, to me, that actually is like so much room for potential. So just wanted to say that because that actually made me excited for you and your practice. Yeah, as you're going.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's such a great way to look at it, Bria. Like, because there is maybe no one to set a certain example, then like there's all that freedom and space to literally do what you think you need to do, what you feel. So that's great. A great way.
And the ripple effect of that, damn. Yeah, just think.
And Justin's bomb. Like, when you hear his stuff, you'll be like, whoa, he's actually bomb.
Justin, you said Bermuda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone who's massive from Bermuda at all.
At all.
No, even the song that I did know from Buddy is like, I want to say it's like pretty old. Like, I think it's from like 2007, and it was like a Daddy Yankee feature. It's like why I know that name. Yeah.
Like, does anyone have any closing statements or a closing little check-in?
I'm super excited. This is awesome. I can't wait to do this again.
I'm so happy. I can't wait either. I'm happy it went how it went, and I'm grateful for, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm inspired. I want to go write songs now. All right. Well, I guess that is it for today.
Thank you so much, Kirsten and Nick, and for everybody for coming. Yeah, I'll email links for next week